All right, my favorite way to use percents in shopping. You have to use mental math all the time when you're shopping. And yes, you can pull out your phone and do all of these calculations. But honestly, this is faster and you can put your phone away. I'm going to paint you a little picture of what goes on inside of my head when I see a price tag on something and I see that it is a percentage off. I think to myself, first of all, what is 10%? To find 10% of a number, that's a tenth of it. So I take my decimal place and I just move it once to the left. So 10% is $4.50. If it's 20% off, that means you're going to pay 80% of the original price. So that's 8 of those tenths. I take this number and multiply it by 8 in my head. Now, really, I'm taking 4 times 8, and that's $32. And then I'm taking half of 8, so the 50 cents times 8. And that is, what's half of 8? 4. So my final price is $36. I know what you're thinking. That's a lot of work. Why can I not just pull my phone out? Well, let's try one that doesn't have a 5 in it. Instead, it rounds off to just a 40 or a 30 or something. Aha, this one. It's $196, but we can easily round this to about a $200 jean. Joey jeans, super expensive. If it's 30% off, in my mind, I am saying, what's 10% of it? And I move my decimal once to the left. So 10% of 200 is $20. Then I'm finding 70% of that price because it is 30% off. I multiply by 7, and these shoes would only be $140. Now, if that made total sense to you, go ahead and fast forward till you get to the next slide. If you're like, whoa, woman, what did you just do? I'll walk you through it one more time. 30% off means that I'm going to pay 70% of the price. I know 10% of the price is $20 because 200 divided by 10 is 20. So 70% is 7 times as much. I multiply by 7 and get $140 that I would pay. All right, these pants, 40% off. Round it to $40. If it's 40% off, I'm actually going to pay 60% of the price. 10% of the price is 4 multiplied by 6 means I'm only going to pay $24. All right, a $500 tablet. Well, for 15%, I know that 10% of the price is $50, and 5% of the price is going to be half of that, which is $25. So I get $75 off of my original, and 500 minus 75 gives me a final price of $425. Here's one for you to try. In your notebook, write percents in shopping and rate your estimates, and then play and see if you got your answers right. For my first one, so if it's 20% off, I'm paying 80%. So that's 8 times 10% of it. That is $32 for my first one. My second one, 8 times $5 for my 10% is $40. For my third one, 10% is 13. So 80%, this one might be easier to do, the 20% off. So 2 times 13 is $26, and $26 away from $130 means I'm only going to pay $104. There's not always one perfect way to do it. So whichever one makes most sense in your head. You could have found 8 times 13, and it still would have given you 104. And finally, my last one. You know you love some Saks Fifth Avenue. Jimmy Choo shoes. The way I know they're Jimmy Choo is because they have the red heel. The red sole. Super fancy. Okay. A $6,000 shoe. 10% of that is $600. That means that I am going to be paying 80%. So 8 times 600 means it would only cost me $4,800. And of course, all of us have that kind of money lying around.